How's it going, Natasha?
Good.
Good. So looking over here at your initial letter that I have received, it says on here that we have a waist circumference of about 101 centimeters, body weight of 82 kilograms, height of 170 centimeters. Are those measurements accurate?
Yes.
All right. So, given all of those specific measurements, it puts your BMI at about 28.4. So, looking at this chart here, 28.4 puts you at the third category down on the chart, which is an overweight category. However, it's not considered obese, which will be the last three there. So in this category here, the reason why it puts you in this one here is because as a woman here, as you can see, if your waist circumference is equal to 90 centimeters or above 90 centimeters, but below 105, then that's where you would be for the range. So with this specific range where you're in right now, you have an increased health risk, and your BMI and waist circumference ratio is a very high risk. However, it's not extremely high or like super worrisome as some of those bottom ones. And since your waist circumference is only like slightly above, we kind of can play it around, and you're about halfway between like the next class and the class underneath you.
Okay.
So given some of these considerations, I've found out a few different planning worksheets here to start you out with, which will help benefit you in kind of like a weight loss program. And with this initial letter here as well, I noticed your stage of change is in the preparation stage. So you're getting ready to actually start your fitness goals and stuff like that, and you're ready to take that next action. So with those steps, I have chose at first here, we got the first step planning worksheet. I believe this one will be very beneficial for you as you're in that preparation phase and you're starting to like figure out what you want, and like you're ready to take that action but not 100% sure on like how it's going to work. So with this planning worksheet here, we're going to go over it together, and it's going to kind of help you give some good ideas. So the first question we got here is write down 2 benefits you hope to get from being more physically active. So 2 benefits that you would hope to get from more physically active, what would you kind of suggest? What would be 2 good ones?
For me, 2 benefits I hope I would get would be more stamina.
Okay.
So being able to go further, run faster, but also just to feel better. To feel more energized. I find that I am, with not being physically active, I feel tired a lot and weak. So that's something I really want to work on and benefit from.
Okay, sounds good. So cardiovascular kind of improvement, and then just overall like well-being and almost like a mental. Like, Perfect. I'll write those down here. All right. So with those 2 benefits, this takes us into the next question here. So think about the easiest way to increase your physical activity. Choose one of the suggestions below or add one of your own. So since you're just beginning, what do you believe would be some easy ways to just kind of like increase your physical activity during the day?
Just going outside for walks, probably, with summer coming up.
Perfect. And we'll put a check on that one there. And then yeah, some of the other ones would be like do some gardening, try a 2-minute stretch break at work. Depends like if gardening is kind of your hobby or not, but is there any other possible ones that you could think of?
No.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so try to be more active than just 1 day per week. It says right here to write down the day and activity you will do, like the certain activity. So almost like this part would almost be there to like hold you accountable for certain things. So instead of just being like, okay, just for 1 day you would like to do this activity, what do you believe would be a good range? Like, would you be happy with like 2-3 days to start, or even on the daily? It depends.
Probably 2 to 3 to start, and
Okay.
then the end goal would be daily.
Okay, perfect. All right, and then, so with those 2 to 3 days a week to start, and then daily eventually, what kind of activity would you like to try to do the most out of those? So what would be something you'd really enjoy?
Probably going for walks.
Going for walks? Perfect. And would that be something you do like in the evenings or in the mornings?
Probably in the evenings, because then maybe I can go with someone as well.
Yeah, that's a good thinking as well. Because yeah, going with family, friends, it's kind of always more beneficial and makes the walks feel way shorter, way easier, more enjoyable in general. All right. So then the last question here is think about how you did. Answer the questions below by circling the rate that applies. Add up the numbers to get a score. If you score 6 or above, that option may be a good one for you. If you scored less than a 6, consider another option.
Okay.
Okay, so for this part, actually, we won't be able to answer this right now. You would maybe go a week or so, or just 2 to 3 days a week, right? And test out your walks, and then once you actually experience them, then we'll come back to this portion of the planning worksheet here, and it'll basically talk about, okay, did you enjoy it out of 3? Was it convenient for you? And could you fit this into a schedule more regular? So just like you said, you want to start with 2 to 3 days and then work up to about daily. All right. So that's it for this first worksheet here. Nice and easy. Next here, I have chose for us, where is he here? This one here. So he's an alternatives for action. So with this alternatives for action worksheet here, this is basically going to say, okay, like what kind of things would you like to put in place to help you reach that goal? So generate a list of alternatives for reaching the goal 2. Would you say you want to increase, or I guess decrease the waist circumference and then get you into that next category, yes, kind of more overall healthy BMI?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so list the advantages and disadvantages attached to each alternative, making sure to consider the pros and cons for you personally or for others in your life. And then at the end, we'll circle the best alternative for you.
Okay.
So, for example, which is nice, it has a little example on this side of the page here as well. So for this person, they've decided, okay, walking each night after dinner, which that kind of goes with yours as well, and then joining a fitness class at work. So for them, they have put, okay, these are the advantages for myself, advantages for others, disadvantages for self, and disadvantages for others, depending on each thing. So in order to hit that goal of decreasing the BMI and getting you back into that healthy category there, what alternative would you consider doing?
Instead of walking?
It could be walking as well, but
I would do probably evening walking for the first one.
Okay.
And then the second one would probably be joining a fitness class as well. So
Okay.
those two are the most available to me at this time.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So, for you then, what are some advantages to going on some evening walks?
It's cheaper and affordable.
Okay.
It's accessible too as well, because it's just right outside your door, and it can be enjoyable if you have company with you as well.
Perfect. All right. And then, so, what would some advantages be for maybe other people?
It gives an opportunity for me to spend time with other people, even during the busy work week.
Okay. All right.
Another advantage for other people is just seeing me be active as well, and putting that step forward to be active for myself.
All right. Perfect. Write those down. All right. Now, what would some disadvantages be to going on some walks during the day or in the evening?
Dependent on the weather, you could be walking in the rain or the cold, depending where you live.
Oh, very true. Yes.
And not keeping yourself accountable to go and do so.
Right. And then any disadvantages you could think of that would affect others?
Just taking time away, really. But that's the only thing I can think of.
Okay. Perfect. All right. And so for your second alternative, joining a fitness class or something of sorts, what would some advantages be for yourself?
I would be held accountable. It also probably set in a routine because it's something I paid for and am a part of.
Okay, yes. And then what about advantages for others?
For others, I'm probably helping support a business at that time.
Okay.
And a personal trainer. And for others, it could be even just going with other people as well, pushing people to do the same.
Almost like a teamwork kind of
Yeah.
thing. All right. And then so any disadvantages for yourself or others?
Just cost, really, because fitness classes usually cost, but it's more so a disadvantage if you can't afford it.
Okay. Perfect. All right, so now that we went over all the advantages and disadvantages of both alternatives, we now have to circle the one that, like, which alternative that you feel would best suit you and your needs. Out of both of these, which ones would you think you enjoy most or would be most beneficial?
Most beneficial would probably now be a fitness class of some sorts, just because I'll be able to stick to it more strongly, I think.
Okay, perfect. All right, so now I'm gonna give this sheet to you, of course, for you to keep, so in that way you can kind of look back at it. However, just because we circled this one doesn't mean you can't work on this one or do walks and stuff like that. It's just this one will be more beneficial in your eyes. So next we have, what coping strategies might you employ to minimize the disadvantages of both these or specifically this one?
Probably keeping a positive mindset towards going to the classes and make sure I'm in the right headspace to go. Because if I associate it with negativity, then I probably won't go or keep up even with the walk. So just making sure that when I'm doing it, I'm actually wanting to be there and show up for myself.
All right. Yes, so those are excellent coping strategies. All right. So that's pretty much everything for this specific form here. However, one more I would recommend would be flipping over to this next page here and doing a weekly physical activity planner or a log or anything like that. So basically, anytime you would go to a fitness class or go for a walk or anything like that, it would be beneficial to kind of write everything down. How you're feeling, how the weather is, if it's referring to a walk, how busy your day was, and then of course when, like what times during the day and how long you go for whatever activity you're going for. Because it's good just to kind of keep track of everything. It also could benefit you and keep you motivated as well.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, that concludes everything for today. I'm really excited to start everything and get everything rolling.